And so today we are going to be doing something that we haven't actually done on the channel before, ranking all past anniversaries. Now in this case, we're going to be ranking on how hyped they potentially were, how good were the characters when they first released, and I guess just give my personal opinions on what I think was the best anniversary and what I was most excited for when the anniversaries were going on. Now of course, this list is entirely subjective. It comes down to your favorite characters, who were you most excited for at the time. So in the comments below, let me know what your favorite anniversaries were, or give me your ranking from best to worst. And I guess at the same time, depending on how lucky you got an anniversary will probably affect on your opinion on said anniversary. Now in this case, as you can see, before even ranking it, we have newest to oldest, all the 8th anniversary characters downwards to the 1st anniversary. Now I should probably preface, and you will see, many with the 1st and 2nd anniversaries, this is when it was kind of awkward. Caleb really weren't prepared at the time. 2nd anniversary, of course, bringing us our 1st anniversary character, which has been a staple for the last 6 years. But the first 2 anniversaries, this was at the time where Global was a month behind. So our characters that we got for anniversary were different compared to what JP got. At the same time, at least when it comes to the 1st anniversary, Caleb never gave us an anniversary character. So the staple really starts from the 3rd anniversary, where part 1 is an anniversary character or characters, and then part 2 is going to be the more exciting limited banner, which for the most part has been 1000-year Blood War, with the exception of the 6th anniversary. So let's rank them in order, right? Now at dead last, we're going to already keep it here, 1st anniversary. 1st anniversary was exciting for different reasons. At the time, it was the game's 1st anniversary, right? That in itself was exciting, especially as a global player, where the game was only out for like around 6 or so months' time. In terms of the characters, they were pretty exciting, getting our first edition of Bankai Soifon, Shinji Shikai, and of course also Bankai Gin. The special thing about these characters though is that these are the first set of 6-star summonable characters. For many people playing the game, 6 stars are a standard, but back then, not every character was a 6-star, they were a rarity, and these were the first summonable 6 stars, so they were some of the best characters in the entire game. However, as mentioned already, part 1 of the anniversary, there was no anniversary character. It was just a banner of good characters. Now in this case, it was probably the best rendition of an anniversary banner, since the banner step-ups themselves were amazing. You could do 5 steps a day for like 950 orbs, and the final multi had a 15% pull rate for a 5-star. It was absolutely insane. Even though it didn't bring any new characters, it did feature some of the better characters in the game, and at the time, especially for many global players, we didn't even have a lot of 5-stars. So this banner was great just to get a wide selection of 5-star characters, and finally play with some of the characters that were kind of hard to pull for. For part 2, again it was the same step-up format. Global got Shinji, Soifon, and also Gin, while the Japanese version, because they were a month ahead of us, got Toshiro, Shunsui, and also Jushiro. The reason why I'm putting it at dead last is just simply because, again, Global and JP got different banners, there was no anniversary character, and just compared to the later years, the characters themselves definitely weren't as exciting as some of the other characters, for example. But of course, in terms of banner formats, 1st anniversary is on top. That summon banner was absolutely great. Having said that, even with the 15% pull rate, I still walked away with 0 banner characters, in this case Shinji, Gin, and also Soifon. So it just goes to show you, even when you have insane rates, you still might walk away with no banner character. In second to last, I'm putting 2nd anniversary. While it was really exciting to get our 1st anniversary character, that of course being Ichigo, the design itself is really cool, albeit simple compared to the later anniversary designs. The reason why Ichigo is dead last for me, maybe it's because he's been out in the game for around 6 years. My problem with the character is that there was no excitement to the build-up. In this case, Ichigo just got announced on the Bankai livestream out of nowhere, but then again, the surprise was kind of ruined because it did get leaked beforehand. And most of the excitement from the 2nd anniversary Bankai livestream was from the fact that we were finally getting 1000-year Blood War characters, although we'd have to wait a few months before that finally happened. When it came to part 2, again once more, JP got something different. In this case, I'm just going to include Global's characters. For Global, the 2nd part of the anniversary was Tensa, Yoruichi, and also White. Now, the funny thing about this banner is that it was actually delayed around 2 or so months. The reason because the swimsuit banner that released a month prior was celebrated for both Global and also JP at the same time. So due to that reason, this banner, which we should have gotten in June, was pushed back an entire month. So we had to wait 2 months for these characters. So that kind of lessened the excitement, but the excitement was still definitely there because Yoruichi and Tensa and even White were some of the better characters in the entire game, and it was the first time these type of characters were playable. White Ichigo with the appearance of Full Hollow, Tensa Zangetsu first time being playable, and Armored Yoruichi still to this day the only Armored Yoruichi in the entire game. It's still going to go 2nd to last though, just compared to other years. The anniversary characters were more well designed, there was more hype leading up to it, and of course part 2, I mean these 3 characters really can't compare to what we get later down the years. Moving on to 6th place, this one very well might be my hottest take on the channel. We are going to be putting 5th anniversary Mainly because, at least to me, Part 2. Now, if we were ranking solely Part 1 of the anniversary, 5th anniversary is probably near the top. The lead up to the anniversary was exciting because they confirmed 2 new characters, but most of the excitement from Part 1, at least from me, came from the fact that I was kind of disappointed going into the reveal. At the time, given the fact that we did get 2 trailers, we knew going into the reveal of the anniversary characters that they were going to be Ichigo and also Byakuya. At the time, I was somewhat disappointed because 6 months prior, we had Ichigo from that particular fight. And given the fact that the year prior, 4th anniversary, were canon characters, for some reason at the time, I never even thought of the idea that these characters were going to be original designs. So when the reveal finally happened and we see a new Ichigo and Byakuya being really well designed, some of my favorite designs for an anniversary, and of course eventually setting up the Beyond Bankai series that we saw later next year, Part 1 was very exciting. And at the same time, it's also worth mentioning, this was at the time where anniversary characters started to become the best characters in the game. Prior to that, with 4th, 3rd, and even 2nd, they were great characters, but were eventually power crept months later. 5th anniversary set the staple that anniversary characters are something to be excited about, are going to have some really cool designs, and are going to be without a doubt some of the best characters in the entire game. 5th anniversary in particular was so broken, they had to add a whole new difficulty at Guild Quest because these 2 characters made it super trivial. The reason why I'm putting it lower though for me is personally Part 2. While Basby, Drugum, and Odu are hype, for me, just compared to the other second parts, it's definitely one of the more lackluster ones. Personal opinion, keep that in mind. While I do particularly like Basby and also Drugum, they aren't some of the more exciting characters for me, and the characters themselves really didn't age the best, as I really didn't use Basby or Odu that much, and Drugum I only used because he was broken in Brave Battles. Again, if we were ranking Part 1, 5th anniversary would be near the top. Part 2 though, is what brought it down for me. In 5th place, and again, once more, maybe a hot take, we're putting 7th anniversary. There's a few reasons why I'm ranking this lower. For starters, Part 1, the designs were great, but in terms of the characters and how good they actually were, of course, it's no secret they kind of held back on the characters. In Uryu's case, the only problem I really have with him is the lack of Marauder. And in the case of Ichigo, of course, his SA1 kind of ruins him. Having said that, there's still some of the better characters in the game even a year later, and still characters I definitely do enjoy using, more so compared to the other anniversary characters, but that's just power creep for you, right? I was definitely excited for Part 1, but compared to the other Part 1s, I was just more excited for those characters. Now, when it comes to Part 2 was very, very exciting. It marked the return of Thousand Year Blood War. For those that don't know, at the time before the 6th anniversary Part 2, we hadn't gotten a new Thousand Year Blood War banner in like a year and a half. And it returned with a bang. A new Yuha, a new Yamamoto, and of course also a new Aizen. However, at the time, and I do understand this is a hot take, I would have much preferred a Spirits Are Forever With You banner. And the reason simply was because I would have preferred if these characters were anime characters. As of right now, they are manga characters, right? And for the most part, it looks like these are going to be the final manga characters we ever do get, since now we're getting new characters based off the anime. And I would have much preferred a new Yuha and also Yamamoto after the fight was animated in the anime. While it's true this character is based off the Yuha fight, he doesn't have the anime design. His visuals, now that we've seen, Part 2 of the 8th anniversary with these 3, we could have had a really cool looking Soul Bomb referencing the episode instead of just referencing his fight with Yuha in the manga. When it comes to Yuha, while it was cool to get an almighty version that doesn't transform, and as good as he is in Brave Battles, he was a Brave Battle character. I want an playable SP Yuha. He's aged quite well in my opinion, but damn, this part would have been significantly more hype if Yuha was just an actual SP character. And then Aizen, while he was cool, he's just an ad character, nothing super crazy for me. It was mainly Yama that sold this banner. I still hold the opinion that this banner should have been Safui, and they should have held out doing a Yamamoto and Yuha until the fight was animated and give us those characters when the anime was potentially airing. It was more so the timing of this banner that I feel like held it back for me, as exciting as it was though, keep that in mind. After that, in 4th place, we have 6th anniversary. Now again, I should probably preface we're considering Part 1 and also Part 2. If we were solely going on Part 1, 6th anniversary Aizen to this day is probably the most exciting Part 1 character. Most exciting anniversary character. And the reason because Aizen is a fan favorite. The character itself was meta defining, literally broke the game when he came out. And the meta ever since then, 2 years later, has in a way been trying to catch up to Aizen. He was insane. Frenzy +2, 2 status augments, brought back Byakuya's SA2, and to this day, 2 years later, he is still one of the best characters in the entire game. But even then, design-wise, amazing. But most of the excitement came from the fact that it finally happened. Almost every year we were calling for an anniversary Aizen. And it took 6 years for that to finally happen. And I'd say it was mainly due to the 4th and 5th anniversary giving us hints or hopes that it could be Aizen. That when the reveal finally happened that it was finally an anniversary Aizen, the excitement was definitely there. Those are eyes. It's Aizen! It's Aizen! Let's go! He looks sick, yo! However, I guess I'm bringing it down just a tad bit, mainly because while I am including our big Ichigo, by name he's not an anniversary character. He did get the anniversary treatment, and ever since then they have been treating him like an anniversary character, but they split up the banner. They split up the banner, so it was only one character to summon for. Usually the staple has been part 1 of the anniversary is 2 characters. In a way, there were 2 anniversary characters that year, but in 2 different banners, and that kind of hurt for a lot of free-to-play players. At the same time, part 2, while it was our first set of Spirits Are Forever With You characters, more so Beyond Bankai characters, I don't think these characters aged the best, nor do I think their designs held up when compared to the later characters. Yamamoto, of course, was broken in Brave Battles, wasn't really the biggest fan of his design. Shunsui was just a link slot farmer, didn't really replace Kisuke for me, and then while Jusha was an insane NAD character, I stopped using him after like a month or 2. And I haven't really used any of these characters for a while besides Shunsui, because there was no other better farmer. So while I think part 1 of the 6th anniversary, Aizen is doing a lot of carrying here, part 2 definitely could have been a bit more exciting, a bit more overpowered, I guess. I don't know if this character choicing was the smartest thing to do for our first set of Beyond Bankai characters. In 3rd place, we have the 4th anniversary. I know part 1, for the most part, the standard has been original designs. And I love me some original characters, especially anniversary characters. I don't think they've missed with an anniversary design. Of course, I prefer some over others, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I am a Bleach fan, and I like it when we get some really good canon characters. And in this case, for the 4th anniversary, it was a very interesting choice to go with not only canon characters, but 2 Ichigos. But regardless of that, they are still some of the more exciting anniversary characters in the game, because I think everyone just loves a full holo Ichigo, and of course a Mugetsu Ichigo. Mugetsu Ichigo doing a lot of carrying here when it came to part 1, being a really good character. Also, I believe the first character in the game to not be a tag team character with 2 killers, and full holo was hype. He has really cool animations, still some of the best animations in the entire game, but he was a Brave Battle character, and that's what kind of holds it down for being top 2 for me, is that full holo was kind of a bad character. Probably the worst anniversary character in the entire game. But regardless, the design was cool, and the character is still really fun to play with, albeit very limited on where I actually can bring him. Now, what was really exciting for part 2 of the anniversary was, of course, 1000 Year Blood War Round 5. This time, it was a whole year before we received a new 1000 Year Blood War banner. At the time, they only ever confirmed 4 rounds, with I believe 14 characters. So we had a whole year without a new 1000 Year Blood War banner, and it came back with an absolute bang. First time seeing a Bankai Yamamoto, being a really good character that too. Aizen, of course, was super exciting, finally coming into the game. And then we also got a Zoifon. While there was some disappointment with how Aizen was treated, he was still really fun to play with and had a really cool gimmick SA3. While I do think the 4th anniversary characters as a whole didn't age the best that year and the following year, in terms of excitement, it was definitely there. I think the character choicing was great, and it was just really cool to see a new form of Ichigo's best forms almost, Mugetsu and Full Holo, and then our first time seeing these 3 fan favorites in the game as their first 1000 Year Blood War characters. Now in 2nd place, and of course this might be recency bias, I'm putting 8th anniversary. I love this anniversary. What can I say? I'm a massive fan of 1000 Year Blood War. Of course, we did talk about it last month. There was a big debate, or I guess controversy, that part 1 wasn't original designs. But again, what can I say? I like me some canon characters that are anniversary level. The same reason why I loved 4th anniversary is kind of the same reason why I love 8th anniversary. But in this case, I feel like it's more special because we finally got another 1000 Year Blood War banner. It's no lie, over the last 9 or so months, there's been a lot of debate on why we haven't been getting 1000 Year Blood War. Some people thought we can't even get new characters, which is a crazy thing to think about. But I don't blame them for thinking that, because after round 16 of 1000 Year Blood War, it was radio silence. Now, I knew we were always going to get a new banner, and I'm pretty sure they were just waiting for the 8th anniversary to bring it back with a bang, and they kind of did that. In this case, we got 2 new 1000 Year Blood War characters, White's first time being playable in the game, and of course also a new True Shikai version of Ichigo. These characters are some of the best looking characters in the entire game, some of the best characters in the game. Of course, it's the most recent anniversary, but it's also really cool to get a 1000 Year Blood War premium set of characters. Again, I love me some original designs, and I don't think every anniversary going forward should be canon characters, but it is nice, I guess, a change of pace to get a canon-themed Part 1 anniversary. When it comes to part 2, I mean, again, it's another 1,000-Year Blood War banner. It's a 1,000-Year Blood War themed anniversary. My favorite arc of Bleach is 1,000-Year Blood War, and I love 1,000-Year Blood War characters. It's the future of Bleach Brave Souls. It's almost the future of any Bleach game. So it's nice to see K-Lab focus this anniversary on that particular arc. And in this case, while it's true we got another anniversary Yamamoto, I love this character despite him being Brave Bows. It's really fun to play with. Really cool design characters too. I like Michodoro. I think 1,000-Year Blood War redeemed him. But most importantly, it's a new Yachi Unohana. This is one of the more iconic characters in the game, so to see her get a remake, but it be a really good character too, is what excels this to be one of the more exciting anniversaries, at least for me. Again, recency bias might be pushing this a bit higher. As the years go by, maybe even months, my opinion on the most hyped anniversaries might be different. But what will never be different is, without a doubt, 3rd anniversary was probably the most exciting anniversary to date. When it comes to the character choicing, of course, part 1, introducing 3rd anniversary Aaroniero. One of the benefits that Aaroniero had over 2nd anniversary, for example, is that they hyped up this character. And this again has been the standard for every single year following 3rd anniversary. On the 23rd of June, we will get a trailer teasing that anniversary character will happen. This was the first time they ever did that, and then it will get revealed on the Bankai livestream. Aaroniero, really cool design, of course, then sets up the Beyond Resurrection line of characters. That ultimately meant that I got a new Aaroniero, which I was very happy with. But Aaroniero just had a really cool design, still one of my more favorite Beyond Bankai designs. But what really sold this anniversary, at least for me, a 4-character 1,000-Year Blood War banner, in this case the final banner for an entire year of 1,000-Year Blood War. But damn was this hype. The characters might have not aged the best, I will say, but in terms of character choicing, this is probably one of the more exciting banners to date. We got a true Bankai Ichigo, Yuha playable in the game for the very first time. I know we got another Yuha here, and this is also really cool, but the idea of Yuha being playable was just a dream for the most part. I know now we've gotten a lot of characters, and now we have, because keep in mind, at the time, they were only doing characters that had voice actors. And lucky for us, Yuha could just use Zangetsu's voice actor, and that was a popular theory that we would actually get a Yuha, so when he finally got revealed on the Bankai livestream, it was absolutely insane. No way! No way! No way! No way! Whoa! Whoa! But alongside that, the 2 other characters being Yoruichi and Kisuke, fan favorites. This was one of the characters I was looking forward to, that being Yoruichi, and there was a big debate going into the 2nd part of the anniversary. Who would the 2 other characters be? We knew at the time that Yuha was happening, and it was also, funny enough, leaked like 3 months before that we were going to get another Ichigo because this Ichigo's quote was put into the game 3 months earlier than intended. So we knew part 2 was going to have Ichigo and Yuha, but who would the 2 other characters be? At the time, Aizen was a popular theory, and that, for me personally, meant that maybe we weren't going to get a Yoruichi for this part. But surprisingly we did. We got a new Kisuke, a new Yoruichi, and this was my favorite character in the entire game for a very long time. So 3rd anniversary ultimately is going down as my favorite anniversary because it was the first time Yuha was playable. We got a final fight Ichigo. Yoruichi was one of my favorite characters in the entire game. And 3rd anniversary Aaroniero was really exciting as we built up to the anniversary with how they first did it. He was the first anniversary character to again have those trailers. Again, that's one problem I had with 2nd Annie Ichigo. For starters was the surprise. It was kind of ruined with the leak. But there was also no trailer for him. And I guess at the same time, the 2nd anniversary theme for Ichigo was just a remix of the opening. Every year after that, we've had some really cool teasers, well-designed trailers, well-designed characters. The reveal of the trailers themselves are really exciting, and we get some really cool original soundtracks for the game. Some of my favorites without a doubt. But either way, that is my ranking on the anniversaries. I think the list is kind of interchangeable. Again, my opinions change every month almost. But without a doubt, 1st and 2nd anniversary are the least exciting for me. 3rd anniversary is always going to be the most exciting, and it's between these 4 right here. 5th, 7th, 6th, 4th, and 8th, depending on when you ask me, would depending on where I rank them for the most part. But that's my ranking. I'm curious to know how you'd like to rank these anniversaries, and I'm excited to read the comment section. With that said though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.